Massive Diablo leaks. We're talking not only Season 6, guys, but Season 7 and Season 8 leaks. This is incredible, guys. There's so many crazy things that got data mined. Take everything with a grain of salt. There may be some spoilers in here, but I want to start off the video by going over how much just got shown off over here. And the craziest thing that I've seen in this is this brand new item that is called the Sekem the Herald. And look at this brand new busted, I mean next level broken item here. This is a unique glaive that if you happen to get it Masterwork and GA'd, you get 27 to all of your skills, even if you don't hit it on the GA, right? Because that's kind of hard to hit. Still, plus 22 to all skills for an item. This is like a god item. This is like better than anything we've seen in the entire game. This is just crazy. It's all skills. This is one of the most insane things, but we'll go and check out a bunch of them, and I'll show you guys kind of the stuff that I found more interesting in these. Take everything again with a grain of salt, as these are leaks / data mined. So some of these could not come out in Season 6. They may come out in Season 7, 8, or they are placeholders that will never come out in the game. But I found some interesting things, and I want to go over kind of the stuff that's the most important here that you guys definitely want to know. And there may be some spoilers in here as, well, they're leaked items here that may tie into the campaign, or it could just be placeholders. I don't know. But let's go and check out some of this stuff. So the first thing is that we are getting a greater Triune Arms cache, which is basically the best reward in the entire game. So usually towards the end of the progression in a season, we would get this cache that would have a spark, right? Well, now we are getting guaranteed Ancestral Legendary with 925 and 2 greater affixes and a Resplendent Spark. So this is actually pretty big. Getting a guaranteed 2 GA item is pretty solid. If it was a 3 GA, I mean, that might be worth making new characters just to grind that out. But 2 is still pretty solid. Yeah, that's going to be really cool to get as a really good reward. There's also a trade agreement placeholder. Some people may speculate that this will be something that will allow us to trade, but my assumption is that it has to do with the mercenaries, but it has the word merc here. But what is that trade agreement? Is it like some item that we have to, like, you know, get in order to trade on the auction house? I don't know. I'm just here to kind of deliver the information, but also says Cursed Child, which is like the demon child, probably part of the mercenary system, just as a heads up. Another thing that we are getting, which is very interesting, and I'm not sure how far this can go in the game, but we are also getting skill point tomes. Maybe this is how we are acquiring the final 10 extra skill points I believe we're getting in the next season, because in the next season and the new expansion, we are getting a level cap change to 60, and to get the rest of our skill points, we're going to be having to get these skill point tomes, perhaps. Or maybe we just use these to refund skill points. Again, not sure, just delivering the important information. Another thing that was very interesting is they kind of updated the cleansing acids, as well as all of the little acids that you would have for the vampire powers. This is a really good thing in the seasons, so this could be making a return in some sort of a way for Season 6, but let me know, guys, what you think of it. I thought the vampire powers were really cool. If they just straight up added these into the game again, I would not be disappointed at all. I think this is a really great addition to the game. Another thing that I found interesting was that there's a Scroll of Town portal. Now, normally we don't use portal scrolls anymore, so what does this mean? This could mean some stuff for the cow level. In fact, there's a very, very weird item that could be something that is a hint towards the cow level that someone will have to figure out the puzzle here, which is kind of cool, which ties into the next item here. This is a Scroll of Never-Ending Text. So it says Lori Ipsum, which is usually used as like a text placeholder. It's a very long thing. I don't know if there's any sort of hidden thing. I'll link everything that I'm using down below as a source, but this was very interesting. I don't know what the point of this is, because it's a scroll, but it's also a potion, which means that you would consume it maybe in a certain area. Again, if you look at how we figured out the cow level, it is pretty crazy to get like a tome. And again, we don't need portal scrolls, so it could have something to do with this. I know there's people out there that love the whole, like, you know, Easter egg searching, and they already said that there is going to be a lot of Easter eggs. This could be something related to it, so hopefully we can get one step closer to figuring out the cow level. Next up, there's a Tribute of the Titans. This is probably some newer area that we are going to be able to enter, but this is also something that can actually scale in item power, so that's kind of cool. And then also, there was another mount. So new mounts have been found. There's a couple different skins, but as far as I'm aware, we haven't seen the lion mount, so this is a brand new mount. We are going to be not only getting the, I think we got like cheetahs, and we have like what is it, like the leopards, but then there's also going to be lions. That is something that we did not know before. And then there's also this really weird item called the proxy nude cat. Now, what the heck is this item? I don't know, but I'm very interested. What is the nude cat in the game? There's also a tonic of Lilith's gaze over here. It looks very interesting because it applies itself to a banner. So what is this banner? Is it part of a new quest line? Is it part of the campaign? I don't know. But it says, it is applied to the banner, a receptacle. Clickers are cursed with the gaze of Lilith. Demon portals will randomly spawn, but the boss chest may contain more valuable rewards. So maybe this is a way to juice up our endgame content to make things harder, but we're going to be getting more rewards. And I think this is a cool idea to be able to kind of have it like Path of Exile, where you can make things more difficult to get better rewards. I like that idea. There's also this strange amulet, and if anyone actually knows Diablo, this is a pretty important item. It is the necklace of Leah in Diablo 3. So what does that mean for the campaign? Maybe it has something to do with the Cal level or some other endgame content. Maybe this is a hint towards, what is going to be another boss. Maybe someone's going to be making a return. In fact, making a return, since I was telling you guys that there might be some spoilers here, there's also Yugioh. He's got a shield. Now, what is the point of having Yugioh's shield if, well, obviously there's spoilers for Diablo 4. Yugioh dies, pretty much, as far as we are aware of. Does this mean he comes back as an enemy? Does this mean he just straight up was not actually dead? Do we just get a shield? I don't know. There's a lot more in this data mine. There's actually so much. And to cover everything, the video would probably be an hour long. I'm just going to kind of go over briefly what is actually being changed over in this video, because I kind of want this to be like kind of a more like overall like video that is encompassing a bunch of things. So we are getting some heavy nerfs in item power, and a lot of these damage numbers also are reflected. However, they said that we're not going to actually lose power. In fact, they're buffing up all these aspects. Like if I just look at Rogue, for example, all these aspects, they're getting all increased by a little bit, 20, anywhere from 5 to like 20% here and there. But when you start to add things up, and this applies to like all characters, it's not just, certain classes. Like let's go over generic, since could be something more relatable. So if you were to do like aspect of elements, there's another like 5% increase. With intercom, there's another 3%, but remember that gets multiplied times 3. It's tripled after you hold still. So all of our aspects are getting increased as far as their potency. So that's going to be more damage. Overall, almost everything got a buff. There's very few things that really took some major nerfs, with the exception of like one thing on the druid that actually took a massive nerf. Again, I know this is actually a super long thing, but I kind of want to just go over this really quick to go over kind of the newer stuff. So this is like all the items that are getting changed. So what it comes down to is a lot of the items in terms of the item power, these are all getting reduced. But on top of that, we are also getting a reduction on like the damage here. And while that is something that is normally seen as like a nerf, we're getting buffs overall to most of the things. There are some nerfs here, like instead of getting 4 to 10% attack speed, it's now 8, and this is like the boost dagger over here. Some of these are essentially something that we'll probably see in the game, because they're just called like boost. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be in the game. It just says this is a test item used for max boost. So maybe you equip it and it just gives you max level. I don't know. Some people will obviously speculate, because in some other games like WoW, I think you can buy your like levels right. I don't know if this is an item for that, just to instantly get you to max level and you could buy it. As far as I'm aware of, Diablo has been pretty consistent on like the whole like, we're not making this game pay to win at all. But it does beg the question, what is a boost helm? It's probably just used as a test item, but there's always going to be people that think that maybe this will come out like you could just boost to max level. But as far as I'm aware of, these probably won't come out into the game. But I want to go over some of the newer things that are pretty important. So we are getting some changes to the mythic uniques, and to go over some of those changes, we're going to go over those. So it looks like they're reducing the stats overall in the game, and even though you're going to see a lot less armor, remember we're getting like an armor cap of I believe like 1,000. That's the new like magic number that we're going to try to hit. So even though some of these may seem like it's a nerf, it more than likely is just to reduce the numbers. But then you also have items that can go crazy in numbers, which we'll talk about. So first off, like the spear, we have a lucky chance to restore. That's getting tripled over here. So maybe if you're running out of resources, this could be something to look at. This item just doesn't really see any play. If we reduce the item power of everything and they don't reduce the Andariel's damage, this just makes Andariel's the best thing in the entire game. So more likely there are things that we don't see yet for like the Andariel's specifically. And then also like most of the stuff is getting like damage numbers changes. I want to go over like kind of the newer things. Now, this was already shown off. It's the brand new mythic helm that is supposed to be able to gain some sort of Lilith's favor, and you can have multiple people maybe equip it, and then only one person deals damage. It's going to be a really interesting item here. And then I already went over the brand new mythic unique that they did not show in the live stream. This was just data mine. It was this one is the one that I showed off the masterwork, where you can get plus to 27 skills. Yeah, that is this item over here, and this item, yeah, it's genuinely just so above and beyond that it makes almost all the other classes almost like pointless. Like there's no way you can compete with plus 27 skills. Or again, even if we look at this, even a plus 20, right? Like let's say you just hit double, right? Even getting like 19 skills is just crazy levels of power for any class in the game. And then we already went over this. There's a PTR cache with mythic uniques in it. This is probably not going to come out in the game because it's PTR. It says PTR on it. Just like some of the test items, I'm guessing that those are just PTR only. And then there's also an ancestral unique pole arm over here. And this is pretty interesting. This is chance to become Berserk. And then on top of that, we have attack speed while berserking and damage over time and maximum life, and execute enemies afflicted by more damage over time than remaining life. So that could be pretty cool for dot builds. That's going to be a really, really good item for like bleed barbarians. Hopefully we can get gushing wounds back to a little bit of power here. This is like an item that was already shown off, but they are just, again, changing the stats on a lot of items over here, where before with the grandfather you used to get like 3,000 health. Now you only get 600. And you might be thinking that's a nerf, which numerically, yes, but remember, everything is getting reduced in the game to try to help maybe them make the numbers a lot easier to see. There are some other placeholder items that are items that already exist in the game. Like this is obviously the Tal Rasha ring, but there's also a placeholder for another unique. So that's more than likely going to be a unique, hopefully for the same class. It's probably a placeholder that they want to add another ring in the game, and more likely it probably drops from the same source, perhaps. But after looking at it, you see that it says Spiritborn. So maybe this is a brand new item for the Spiritborn. Maybe it's related to the Sork. I don't know. You guys can speculate. I'm just here again to kind of deliver the information. A lot of these items, again, there's a lot of different changes over here, but Black River over here, this is where the unique gets changed, and this is the stuff that I wanted to cover, which is like, wow, you got Corpse Explosion to deal 50% chance to deal double damage. That's a pretty good mod, right? That's a newer change. Again, I'm not going to go over like the number changes. Most of these are like doubled, some of them like tripled. It's pretty crazy to see all of these unique changes. We also have these brand new things. That destroys equipment cache, which contains ancestral legendaries and ancestral uniques. And as far as I'm aware of, the ancestral uniques that drop in the game will roll with guaranteed 1 GA. So that's going to be really good already in the game. Some other changes over here. Again, I'm just going to cover some of the newer things. Then Fireball, this is actually the same. I don't know why they have it. It's just to change the text, I guess. Maybe it was causing some sort of an issue. There is a really massive nerf, though, to the Druid. There's also this Jensith Shell, which is damage reduction while injured, which I guess you could maybe make it injured build. I mean, 82% damage reduction is no joke. And then we have endurance, we have some damage, and then we have some life over here. And spending vigor heals you for a percentage of your max life. Then every second your active cooldowns now drain 10% of your maximum life to reduce their durations by 3 seconds. I like this idea. It's very, very cool. Hopefully we can get more of these on all the classes, because it does say that it does require Spiritborn. But let's be honest, everyone and their grandma is going to be playing Spiritborn when the new season launches. And then we have Loyalty's Mantle, which is another Spiritborn helm. And it's giving you some crit, some very mediocre damage, but then we get 10% damage reduction. And while your Spirit Hall choices match, their bonuses are 100% more potent, and skills with that base Spirit cost some sort of less. And then they also have reduced cooldowns. I mean, 60% cooldown reduction. That's almost max cooldown. Cooldown in this game is coded for 75%, and the fact that you can get this much cooldown, again, the Spiritborn is like basically confirmed to be best class, because again, the plus 27 to skills is just like, you can't compete with that. Like, you genuinely can't. It's too good over there. And then what I found really interesting with this new amulet, which I was thinking, since it has the artwork of Melted Heart of Selig, this could be Selig's bonus, and it says if you have at least 2 blue packs, double in size. So what I'm thinking, it also says do not ship. So more likely, this is probably not supposed to come out. But again, these are data mines here. The only thing I can think of is blue glyphs. So if you get blue glyphs to double in their size, finally, I'm glad that they've been listening, and because I've been trying to tell them, like, what's the point of a blue glyph? It does nothing in the game. But if we have a really cool item, a unique item that increases like blue glyphs. This is what I wanted to see in Diablo. I want to see this awesome creativity. So I'm very grateful for that thing over there. And then we have this signet over here where we have it for Spiritborn. It's dodge and then damage after killing an elite. We have some plus ranks, and then we have generate vigor per second while you have at least 4 stacks of ferocity. You gain ferocity, also grants resolve. So that's like a newer thing. Again, I'm just going to cover like the major different changes here with certain items. Storm's Companion over here. I guess they're probably just changing the wording on that. And Tal Rasha's is getting its like number change over here because it used to be, was it 10 to 20 and now it's 10 to 25. So nice little buff up over there with that. And then Mortar Crux over here, we have chance for Corpse Explosion to deal double damage. There's 2 items that now do that, which is pretty cool, but you can't equip both anyways because one of them is Black River. So yeah, that won't really work. And then also says Huge Flesh, which, okay. So yeah, I don't think you can equip both of those. And then there's the Unmaker over here. So this is the brand new Necromancer item that they, I believe, already showed this off, so I'm not going to really go over it. It just makes it so Soul Rift, which is the new ultimate, deals 200% of its damage per second to surrounding enemies, and for every 30 essence you gain while it's active. And then Wild Heart Hunger. This is like one thing that gets a major nerf. So your Bestial Rampage, which is like when you're in Werebear and Werewolf, it increases the potency of it by up to 50%, and it decays. But yeah, the older item was much better. So this is like the only like actual like nerf that I saw that was like pretty massive. Then we have Wound Drinker, which gives you crazy amounts of armor. I mean, look at that. That just basically solves armor. It gives 50% armor almost. If you get that G8, you're done with armor. We have some Thorns, some Patient Guard. Also, Thorns numbers are all getting shrunk down. Like Razor Plate got massively changed in the numbers, but keep in mind, it's maybe not necessarily a nerf. It's just to shrink all the numbers down, so it's easier to do math in the game, because like hitting for trillions, yeah, it becomes kind of hard. They have Whoosh Nakpa over here. So casting ultimate skills grants you its matching primary spirit hall bonus and increases all skill ranks by another 5 to 10. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to be able to run double glaives, so you can't go plus 27 and plus this. But I thought this was pretty interesting, is that your ultimate skills each gain additional skill types, so now you can convert them so they can do more things, depending on bonuses. There's also a bunch of these like things called PHs, which are placeholders, and most of these, though, they're basically items that already exist in the game. Like, these are like some like Necromancer uniques. I don't know what this is. And then I started scrolling down, and I actually figured out, potentially, some big news, guys. I'm talking set items. So there were a lot of these, and I just noticed this, like, it's specifically on, there's also one for Sork, if I scroll down. There's also some placeholders for Season 7 and 8. My guess is, I'm hoping there is going to be another expansion for this game. More likely there will be if the first expansion does well, but then I started seeing that there's all these placeholders, and they were stacked on top of each other over here when we scrolled down, and then these were like completely like blocked out. So there was like several uniques, and they were all for Sork at the bottom, and there were several again that were all placeholders that were holding places for very specific classes. And then I was thinking, I know what it is now, because they're like kind of the way that they are designed over here is there are things that already exist, and more than likely, guys, in the original design, and I have this somewhere in one of my folders. I probably should have brought this up, but I'd have to find it. There was an original design back when David Kim was working on the game in 2020 where they actually originally designed mythic items, and we eventually got mythic items. A lot of the stuff that was already in there, like the runes, they actually got added in. And you know what this probably is, guys? This is probably sets in Season 7 or 8 or the next expansion. Again, with these leaks and data mines, take everything with a grain of salt. This doesn't mean, 100% confirmed, but more than likely, that's what these are, and that's why they are sorted in the way that they are, where they're holding placeholders of all the same stuff, and then they're all basically for the same class to hold the place that they are probably part of a set. So that's pretty awesome and big news, but that's like the most important things. There are a bunch of other new skins. I'm not going to make this video like 3 hours long, because no joke, if I was to go over all these patch notes, it would be like 3 hours long. I may make like a video that goes over all of them in a separate one, but I just want to get this news out there ASAP so you guys had something to check out and see what there is out there. But there's a lot of like newer skins. They are actually removing a lot of items. Let me see if I can type in the Control F. They actually removed a lot of items in the game, and then they added other ones. So again, a lot of these are probably like newer skins for the game. It's on newer things. I'm hoping we get other implicits on certain items as well. That would be kind of cool. But that's like the most important stuff, and I'm very excited about Diablo 4's future, especially with the announcement of all the runes and rune wards. But man, massive, massive leaks. And again, each one of these has like an entire list of changes. And again, most of them are just like numerical damage changes to match like the new game's like numbers. But anyways, that's gonna wrap things up. Let me know what you are most excited about, and let me know what you're excited to play in Season 6. For me, I have to play Spirit Board. It's like required, but Rogue is definitely gonna be the next choice up. But let me know your thoughts down below on all these infos, or if you know anything with the cow level, please let me know, because I would love to know more info on that, because we're getting one step closer probably. Anyways, take care guys. If you guys enjoyed the video though, drop a like on it. If you want to learn more things, or if we find something new about the cow level, subscribe to the bell and I'll give you guys the latest info. But thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.